Hi, good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to the Science of Mind Club. Today's episode is continuation to our one of the most anticipated and most loved series, which is on the neuro-linguistic programming. This was something that we were getting for a long time, where people wanted to learn about NLP. And in this mini series, we are addressing a lot of these ideas which are from the domain of NLP, which can benefit you. So today is yet another technique, yet another learning that we are going to do as a part of this club. So, once again, a very warm welcome. Today, we are sharing some of the codes, which is like a ritual. As you can see, there is a missing piece of a jigsaw which this guy is carrying. So, what does it mean? Representation or representation is representation. So, how do we represent the reality? What can be a part of reality that gets presented or represented in our mind in a different way? How we are adding those meanings to the reality that we see or we feel or we hear and observe. So it is about how do we represent, how do we add meaning to that reality? What can be those fragments? What can be those parts or pieces that can help us understand the reality better? Yeah, there are some pieces like in jigsaw puzzles where we fit the piece and we are wondering that what can be the other piece. Sometimes we put two pieces together. The moment we see that a pattern is emerging, then we can see that the next piece of the jigsaw is predicting the piece. So, in a way, if we are able to align these parts together, we are able to represent the reality in the way that we want. Okay, so today's section is about that. Today's class is about that. Next one is this is my favorite, where you are changing the reality in the way that you want. From the can't, there can be a can. Okay, so wherever there is a can't, there can be a can. Wherever there's a won't, there is something that you can win at the end of it. So events control us to the extent that they lie out of our consciousness. The moment you are aware of the patterns which are pulling you down, bringing a negative spiral in your life, setting you up for failure, the moment you are aware of it, that awareness, I would say, is the very first step of change. The change starts or the change work starts the moment's an unconscious pattern that controls you, an unconscious way in which the part operates. It controls you. It brings up in your conscious awareness. So whenever things are in your conscious awareness, you can take action about it. Okay. So like I was speaking to this friend of mine and she has a weight issue. She wanted to lose weight. That is her goal. I asked her this question that what is it? What is one habit that is adding on to this weight? And she said that what is adding to my weight or this bad eating habit is that whenever I'm back from office, I throw up my laptop on one corner, shoes on the other corner, sit in front of TV, and I want to relax because I'm tired. And it's kind of a, I would say, to an extent, emotional eating as well. And then the TV is on, then I have to grab the packet of chips. This is this flavor of chips she likes, which is salt, pepper, and vinegar, and she likes to eat it. Now I said that, all right, so the moment you are aware of this conscious pattern, I think that it's not something which is unconsciously controlling you. Now you can do something about it. For example, the next time you step into the house, you can put in these mechanisms. Maybe the TV remote is hidden by your spouse. Okay, then you can't do anything about it. Unless that TV is on, that pattern is not getting started. So we have to break the pattern. And to break the pattern, we have to understand that these events will only control us till the time they are out of our awareness and consciousness. So it is important for us as leaders that we definitely focus on these patterns and we increase our awareness. Okay. So that's the second thing that we wanted to share with you. And this is a beautiful picture that I found, and great photography by the photographer. People work perfectly. Okay, so everybody has this light, within them. They work absolutely perfectly. Is at times we have to just recalibrate ourselves to the goals that we see. Maybe we don't want a temporary pleasure, but we are looking for a permanent solution or a permanent habit that can set us up for success. So it is about recalibration. It is about understanding that in our perfectness, how we can create the perfect that we want. We don't want a momentary pleasure of just having a chips packet, then a long-term pleasure of a long-term happiness and satisfaction of looking yourself in the mirror and saying that, wow, I'm in my perfect shape, I'm in my perfect way, body is so healthy. People work perfectly. It's just about deciding what is perfect for you. Yeah, and this is most important, to be kind. People already have the resources that they need, which means that in our mind, the part of mind which we call as the unconscious mind, it already is a great reservoir of all the strengths, all the possibilities, and all the kind of resources that you're looking for. So it is about, tapping into this potential. It is about tapping into this resource so that this unconscious mind is aligned with you. And sometimes, you have to be kind with yourself when you are getting slow results, when you're getting no results. See, many a times our benchmark in which we judge ourselves are too harsh. Many a times we ourselves are so very overly critical. We beat ourselves up, and we are always nagging about what we can't do in life. See, when we have all the resources, when we have this learning, you know we understand that we can change. Okay, so be kind to yourself. And second, when you look towards others, okay, as people who are excellent, who can create excellence, who have this unlimited resource of unconscious mind, then definitely you be kind to them as well, because sooner or later they are going to realize. Okay, sooner or later in your life you are going to realize, and everything is going to make sense. Now, for that to happen, the first thing first we can start with is a lot of empathy and compassion and kindness towards ourselves as well as towards others. Now, this one is my favorite by John Grinder. John Grinder was the foundational father of NLP, along with Richard Bandler, and this is what is a most important takeaway that I want to share with you today: is that unconscious is mercilessly quick. What does this mean, mercilessly quick? It means that your unconscious mind is always communicating with you, and it quickly gives you a response. For example, there was this friend of mine, and she was, in a very hectic schedule in office, and at times she was falling sick, and she was ignoring all that sickness. Okay, she used to feel stiffness in the neck, stiffness on the shoulders. She used to ignore all of that, and she kept on working. So what happened was that later on, she realized that she is developing cervical spondylitis. Now, we cannot say that it was developed in a day or two. Her body was giving her signals. Her body was communicating. So our unconscious mind will be communicating to us in a lot of different ways. And what it requires is that we just be patient. We listen to our unconscious. We listen to our body. We listen to our body mind. That what is it trying to communicate, and accordingly, we definitely can align ourselves better with a very holistic way of living our life, a very holistic way of looking at ourselves, our health, our goals. And in a way, we can be very mindful about that how do we want to lead our life, and how do we want to take care of ourselves and those around us. And this is the whole premise of the Science of Mind workshop and this NLP series, where we bring you a lot of these resources which increase your awareness. See, our point at the end of the day is that every Sunday when you're listening to these audio lectures or these video podcasts, it is all about making that you are gaining something in this 30 minutes. Okay, it's a moment of reflection. Okay, just like a good friend, he or she gives us a tap on the shoulder that, hey, maybe you have to slow down. Maybe you have to kind of change something. This is our intention, that we are a group, we are a team of people supporting each other to become better versions of ourselves, to become better community leaders, better coaches, and we create and help more people along the way, create more coaches, create more leaders. Okay. Every Sunday we are catching up for 30 to 40 minutes only. With that investment of time, it's like an incremental progress that we are making towards our goal of learning techniques of psychology, NLP, and mindfulness. It's a pro bono initiative, will always be like that. It will be a free initiative always. And the only thing is that we just page forward, we just connect with our friends around, we make everyone's life better around us as a change maker, as a positive person. We share these ideas, and we make sure that overall our community develops. So the people around you, you have to take care of them, and that's the only ask that we have. Okay. If you're still curious to start learning about these topics, there is a Udemy course that I've created. It's called 21 Mind Hacks. You will find it on Udemy. And you still want to connect more, there are some recordings of these Sunday classes which I put down on YouTube. And every Sunday at 10 a.m. Indian time, we are connecting on Zoom. The link always remains the same. The password always remains the same. Our only intention is that you learn, apply, share, and you transform your life and those around you, their life as well. And you feel free to share this knowledge. There's a Google site. The name is on the bottom of the screen. You can go on that screen, go on that site, and find more about it. Okay, and always stay curious. Okay? Because this curiosity is a hallmark of any learner. We stop learning anything when we stop being curious. It is important that we be curious. And today, what we are curious about as a group is this NLP technique. See, in NLP mini series, we started with the mindset, then we started with the skill set, and now we are giving you the tool set of NLP. So last time we shared one of such tool set called the time machine technique. Today's technique that we are going to share with you, this is called parts therapy. So let me make it very, very simple to understand for you. Like, we started today's session by talking about the piece of jigsaw. Okay, so anything around us which is a part of our experience, this is a part of us. And how it is a part of us? Because our brain, which is a pattern making and a pattern matching machine, it looks at that experience, it derives a meaning out of it, and that meaning becomes a part of our unconscious. Okay, that's the piece of a jigsaw. Somewhat similar to the logo that I selected for Self-Mastery Zone, the blog that I created a while back. Yes, it is about understanding that all these parts, they kind of operate within our brain. So our brain is divided into conscious mind. We have a very powerful conscious mind, which is always learning, and then there is an unconscious mind. Unconscious mind takes care of your breathing, your heartbeat, all these functions which are happening to keep you alive, which are out of your conscious. Maybe you don't have to think to take the next breath. Okay, or maybe sometimes we are mindfully breathing and then we are thinking. We don't have to think for our heart to beat. Okay, so all these functions are part of our unconscious mind. And this unconscious mind, like, if you say that there was this research that said that the conscious mind only remembers 7 plus minus 2 things. It can remember 5 things, 7 things, 9 things, or somewhere in between. But if it is more, then it becomes like an overload. Okay, like, you remember what is the picture on this slide, but if I say that just remember the second slide which I shared, what was the picture there? Even if it was an interesting picture, I'm sure that in the conscious awareness it has just been passed to your unconscious mind, which is absolutely fine. That's how we work. But the unconscious mind, it remembers more than 20 million pieces of information at any given point in time. So when you are sitting listening to me, there is in your surrounding maybe a clock ticking on the wall, maybe there is sound of things which are going near you, around you, or maybe you can hear the sounds of people chatting in the other room, and there are so many sounds around you. Visually also, there are a lot of signals that you're getting from things around you. Maybe something which is a bright red in color is also registering in your memory, in your part of the mind, and maybe there are some other factors as well. So unconsciously, you are aware of so many different things that are happening. And this unconscious is scanning the environment and still keeping you safe. Okay, the moment if there is any threat in the environment, it immediately alarms you. You don't have to consciously think that, oh, there is a tiger in front of me and I have to run. Immediately that response triggers in your body. Okay, so this unconscious is constantly scanning that environment. And it is scanning for 2 things basically. So this part of unconscious mind is looking for either pleasure or pain. So it takes you to the places where you can find pleasure as a person, and it takes you away from the instances where you're feeling any pain. Because the whole point of the unconscious, this part of unconscious, is to keep you safe, well, and protected. That is the part of the unconscious. And the highest intention of any part of the unconscious is that it has to definitely, keep you safe, well, and protected. And that is the reason why this part of you, or anything that is taking an unconscious control of a behavior or a pattern, it definitely has a very positive part. So let me go back to the example. What do I mean? Like, I gave you the example when we started this class of this friend of mine who has a weight problem, a weight issue, and the unconscious pattern, which is kind of the unconscious part of the pattern which controls her, is that she comes home and she's very tired and she drops the laptop, and then she picks up a remote, switches on the TV, and she picks up the bag of chips. Now, what will be the highest intention of that part, and why we are saying that highest intention is positive? The highest intention is that she wants a little bit of a unwinding from a day which has been stressful. Now, this part is taking care of her, but we have to realize that the ways in which this part is taken care of may not be the right way. Maybe it was a habit that got formed unknowingly. Maybe it is a pattern which she didn't realize, or this part didn't realize, will work against her. Maybe this weight issue that is getting developed had started to impact deeply on the very intention which this part had of taking care of her. Maybe this weight issue will later on result into a health issue. And this part doesn't want that. So there is a part of you, a part of your mind, which is responsible for your automatic behavior. That is the first thing that I want to establish. And in NLP, we have something called as a parts therapy, where we talk to the part which is controlling this habit that we want to change, or this automatic pattern that we want to change. Or it can be fear in some case, it can be anxiety, it can be habits. And the whole idea here is that we can rewire that part, we can rewire that automatic part of our unconscious mind, which is somewhere working like a program and taking us in the direction where we don't want to go. And when we rewire or recode that, it will work for you. It is going to change because the highest intention of that part is really, really positive. It wants you to be successful, it wants you to be safe, well, and protected. So, how do we do that? So, there's a very simple technique in which we'll communicate with the part. How do we communicate with the part? So, wherever you're sitting, you can just simply relax. For that, you can keep both of your feet on the ground, or wherever you are sitting, you can just simply relax and you can just focus on your breathing. How do we get in touch with your unconscious mind? Is we communicate in a very kind, compassionate, loving, and caring manner to our unconscious. Because we want to identify, I'll ask you to identify that wherever in your unconscious, that part which is responsible, and we'll take the same area that we have chosen as an example of weight control, let's say. Let's focus on that part which is taking care of the weight control. And in a way, for people who are eating too much or too less, it is just feeding you at the right time, or maybe choosing not to feed. So in a moment, we are going to focus and we are going to communicate with that part. And how do this part kind of communicates with you? It communicates in form of the unconscious movements. So let us say that you can bring your hand in front of you like a mirror, and just you focus on the center of the hand, and you focus on the lines of the hands, you focus on the color of the hand and the texture of it. Focus deep. Focus deeply and focus on your breathing. Keep on breathing. Consider of it as an experience where you're opening your mind. Hand over this communication to your unconscious part that is responsible for keeping you safe, well, and protected. In a moment, you realize that your eyes may become heavy, or the focus will change, and you look at different colors which are there on the hand, lines of the hand. Just be there in a moment. And in a moment, we'll communicate with that part, and that part is going to talk. Can give you a signal. Maybe it is a twitch of a muscle, maybe it is a movement of a hand, or maybe it is shifting of your breathing. This means that you have deeply settled in your mind and you are in touch with that part of you which is ready to take care of you, ready to communicate with you and give you a signal that it understands and it accepts that it has to take care of you. You can, in your mind's eye, in your mind's way of communicating, you can just talk to this part that what is it that it is looking for when it is running this habit of overeating, or what is it that it is looking for when it is eating all the unwanted food that doesn't add any nutritional value to you. And maybe raise that signal, which means that it is communicating to you your intention that it is listening, and it will communicate that there is a positive intention to keep you safe, well, healthy, happy in your life that it has. Now, when you have established this connect, when you are in this experience of connecting with your higher mind, you can ask the part, creatively think of other ways of making these changes happen in your life. What are the other ways in which this part can take care of you, make you happy, healthy, fit, and well without the negative patterns of behaviors which it is choosing currently? And ask this part to take the new choices, identify as many choices. When you do that, I remember of a story which one of my teachers told me, that when we look at the animal kingdom, there are a lot of these herbivores go from one place to another, and they realize that they are looking for the greener pastures. They're looking for some nice trees, nice green grasses, and they know when to start and when to stop. Maybe it is a deer which is running in the jungle and it stops at a plant and it looks that there is a berry which is on that plant. Maybe that deer can choose to eat that berry or can just let go of that emotion because he knows that feeling too full. Because the deer's unconscious, this unconscious knows that if the deer is eating too much, he or she will not be able to run too fast. And maybe they will fall prey to another predator. So your unconscious knows when to stop. Your unconscious knows that its primary objective is to keep you safe, well, and protected. And these automatic patterns can stop. You can change them and replace them anytime with a creatively identified choice that leads you to your goal and more fun ways of taking care of your health, taking care of your happiness, fitness, well being. And in ways unknown, your unconscious will lead you to this goal that will bring you the most positive effect. Anything that I say to you or to your unconscious is now getting aligned in all those choices you will be making in days to come, weeks to come, months to come. And as these choices get integrated in your unconscious mind, your unconscious can give you a signal. That signal is your way of understanding, my way of understanding that all these suggestions that you have given to your unconscious mind, they have been accepted at a cellular, molecular, neurological level. You can ask that part of your unconscious, that part of you, integrate these choices and make all the other parts in your unconscious align perfectly in alignment to make this positive outcome in your life. where you are healthy, you are happy, and you are fit and well. Now go ahead and thank this part for communicating with you today and making these changes which are aligning seamlessly with the life that you want. In a moment, you can thank this part and just center yourself back to the room, back to the Zoom, and you can just rub both of your hands. Maybe you can rub it on your eyes. Thank for this higher self of you, communicate with you, for you, to make these changes happen for you. Okay? So that's how we complete the parts. The way in which we communicate is we get into this deeply relaxing state of heightened awareness where we know that this unconscious can be tapped. Okay, and it cannot be tapped, friends, in a day-to-day hurry-burry of our life where we are just running here and there and our attention is spread. We have to focus our attention. Maybe you also need to have a ritual where you are connecting with that deeper self. Maybe that ritual for some people is exercising. Maybe for some people it is meditation. Maybe for few others it is making some sort of art. I know of a friend, and whenever she's stressed out, she makes this beautiful mandala art, and then when she totally and absolutely gets absorbed in this um, art making process is when she connects on with her unconscious mind. So arts therapy, I think the three key things that I want to share now to sum it up is one, that our unconscious is an amazing resource that we have, and it is about connecting with that higher self. That is point number one. Okay. Point number two is that the unconscious has a lot of these parts of our behavior which run as automatic patterns. Okay. And the reason why these patterns are automatic is because they want us to be safe, well protected, healthy, and happy. And they are lying out of our conscious awareness, but their intention is always positive. The highest intention of those parts and those automatic patterns of our unconscious mind is to take care of us. And the third thing is when we communicate with that part in a deepened state of awareness, just like the parts therapy work that we did today, we can program and rewire those parts to work for us. This is a very powerful technique of neuro-linguistic programming, and that's how we complete the parts like a piece of a jigsaw together. We become a better version of ourselves, and we break those habits and break those patterns which are not working for us and rewire them to do something positive for us. So I hope that you liked the sharing today. I hope that you found it useful. And anytime you can revisit it, you can listen to this video, and you will know that what are the pieces that I have put together. And in a way, if in case there is a habit or there is a problem in which you are looking forward for some sort of a parts work, we can do this for you. I'm offering a pro bono counseling for anybody who's looking forward for, or any kind of a coaching if you want to learn this thing more. Okay, so this is still available to you, and usually over the Saturdays and Sundays is when I coach people. The journey ahead that we have planned for this NLP mini series is that maybe you can put in your questions and answers on the WhatsApp channel that we have made, on the YouTube community that we have created. You definitely practice these skills and you share it with others, and you see for yourself that this is definitely creating a difference. Okay. And you take care of those around you, you take care of your parents, you take care of your loved ones. You keep learning, because learning is definitely. So thank you so much for your patient listening. If there are ways in which you want to connect with me, I have I'll be more than happy to share more. And this is my number, which is there. And I call it unconscious alchemy, because this unconscious that we were talking about, there lies a lot of possibilities. It's a free coaching opportunity that I can share with anybody who's interested. The domains in which I excel, where I'm so thankful to my coaches and my mentors, where I have learned certain skills, are mindfulness, the whole mindfulness meditation, mindfulness practices, to remove pain, fear, anxiety, these things. Neuro-linguistic programming, I'm already giving you a flavor of that in these sessions, where we are changing our habits, we are learning something, and We are giving you the techniques which are very powerful. And last but not the least, psychology, this whole psychology of performance, psychology of achieving, psychology of achievement. Okay, this is also what. So I am a trained psychologist, and a lot of my work earlier had been with some of the non-profit organizations where I was offering my counseling services. So feel free. Anytime you feel that you need a friend to talk to, wherever you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed, okay, just pick up the phone. I'll be happy to answer that call for you, or you just drop a message on the WhatsApp. I think these days in our generation that message is more prevalent form of communication. So choose whichever you feel like. I will be happy to connect with you, and whatever I have, I'll be happy to share with you. I wish you all the very best on this journey where you are picking up these skills to become better day by day. And as a leader, as a coach, you pay it forward, you share it with others. That is the only ask that I have. All right, then. Thank you so much for your patient listening on this Sunday morning. I wish you a great Sunday ahead. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.